What is up, guys? My name is BobaTalks and welcome to a brand new video on Star Trek Discovery. Now, this is my first thoughts video, or should I say review. It's just my overall gathering impression on these first two episodes with Star Trek Discovery. So I guess we should get straight into the video, and can anyone do this? If you can, then let me know in the comment section down below. Now, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Star Trek Discovery is, or if you're just not so into sci-fi and that's why you don't know about it, but really there's no excuse, this is Star Trek. It is basically set 10 years before the famous Captain Kirk and the Enterprise, and it's basically its new own thing. And I get why they wanted to do that, because it's like, hey, after everything, like after the previous programs and the movies, it would be a bit weird if they were just like, right, we're coming out with a new Star Trek show and modernized cool sci-fi great Star Trek show again, and we're doing Captain Kirk again, we're doing Spock again. As amazing as that would be, and I'm sure many people did want that, it would just be kind of underwhelming because we've had that again and again with the Abrams films, we've had it with the TV shows. So I am excited, and I was excited, should I say, for this new Star Trek Discovery TV program. Ever since it got announced a long time ago, I remember seeing the trailer, and I was just like, yes, we're getting a new sci-fi show. It's going to be amazing. And to be honest, it just came out of nowhere. I kind of forgot about it for a little while, and I was just guess I put it on the back shelf, and here it is. The first two episodes are out. I definitely encourage you to go watch them yourself, because I actually really did enjoy it. But that's not to say it went without its problems, because every program has its problems. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this show at all, but one thing I am definitely gonna say first of all is that I'm so happy that we've got a regular Star Trek show out in the world. It's gonna come out week by week now, and it's just something, especially after the first two episodes, that I'm left with the feeling of, you know, I'm so happy that I've got another episode of amazing Star Trek sci-fi to look forward to next week. So despite the first two episodes not even having the USS Discovery in it, I don't believe anyway. Well, we haven't been introduced to the USS Discovery properly anyway in the show, which is the USS ship that we're going to be, you know, going throughout and discovering new worlds and all that good, you know, Star Trek stuff with throughout this show. The first two episodes set up the story with, you know, what the main plot line is going to be with the Klingons. Now, even as I said, if you're not a massive Star Trek fan, or even actually haven't delved into it too much, you may recognize the protagonist of this show, Sonequa Martin Green, and that's because she played Sasha in The Walking Dead. Now, I have seen The Walking Dead, I am up to date, and when I saw, you know, when I refreshed the trailer for myself again a couple of days ago before Star Trek Discovery came out, I was like, and it's nothing against Sonequa Martin Green, I was just thinking, I don't know how I feel about her being the head or the face of this show. She is a good actor in The Walking Dead, but I was just like, I don't know if I'm feeling it. But I was put my thoughts and my anticipation for her character on the show was completely off-world, should I say, because she was very good. And I'm very excited to see more of her. I just didn't think upon first impressions that she could hold, you know, something like Star Trek Discovery by herself, but it was actually really, really good, and her role in it was really interesting, and her character, I think this is the main thing, her character is so interesting. She's going to be the protagonist, but she's got, you know, she's sort of the edgy protagonist. She's not all good. She's got her own problems, especially from what she did in the first two episodes. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but the stuff that takes place in the first couple of episodes that lead up and that, you know, that pave the way for, you know, her being on the USS Discovery from the trailer that we've seen of the episode 3, it's just going to be a really, really cool ride with her character. And I have to say, her acting was actually pretty good for her being this Vulcan-raised human. I mean, we've got a couple of flashbacks in the show where she sort of first comes to Starfleet Command and stuff like that, and she's very Vulcan. Just everything about her is very Vulcan, to be honest. And it's interesting to see how far her character has come with the present captain in the first couple of episodes. As I said, I can't say too much because I don't want this to be spoiler-filled. It was very interesting to see her history with the current captain in the first couple of episodes, because they've come a long way together. She's become more humanized, back to her core emotions of human, because everyone knows Vulcans are very not really emotion based, to be honest, and she's kind of struggled with that throughout her life. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Sonequa's acting was great, and I'm really looking forward to see where her character goes in the show. It's really interesting and really fresh to get a new take on the Star Trek universe with a different, you know, USS, which will be the Discovery. And, you know, it's set before Kirk, and I'm really glad that it is, because, you know, we're going to learn new things, we're going to explore new things, there's going to be lots of Easter eggs, there's going to be lots of references to stuff we already know, and blah, 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 and I really appreciate that. Now, this is just a first thoughts video, so I don't want to go on too long in this, but I just thought that the design and the effects of this were incredible. My favorite moment was when she went out in that, you know, basically the space vac suit, and she was just going after what they were trying to find in that asteroid field. And it's just, you know, where she saw like everything out, you know, space in front of her, and this, I just got the giddy feeling, because I'm such a big sci-fi fan. I do not know a shite load of stuff about Star Trek. I know a little bit, but enough to, you know, get me super pumped about this show. And it's just, this brings out my inner nerdy geekiness, you know, anything space like that. It's just, that is my favorite thing, really. I mean, you all know how much of a big Star Wars fan I am. So with stuff like this, I was just like, yes, yes, yes. Now, as I said, there was a few things I wasn't so sure about, and to be honest, these are more of like they're not like things I didn't like. They're just not. They were just things I wasn't so sure how I felt about, but I actually got used to at the same time by the end of the first couple of episodes, and it was just more of a nitpicky thing for me. So the thing that started it for me was, like, as much as I loved the Klingons in Star Trek Discovery, I wasn't so sure about their new design. Now, I loved the Klingon storyline from it. It was more the first episode from a Klingon sort of point of view, but their design is something I kind of had an issue with, only because it's like, at first this is what I was thinking. I was just like, I didn't know how I felt about all that prosthetic on the, you know, these actors' faces, to the point where the only thing they can barely move is their lips. It's like they've had so much Botox, but everything else about them, you know, is very stiff, and it felt very old. But at the same time, this is what I mean. Like, I feel like this is, you know, Star Trek has always been more of the wackier side of aliens and stuff like that. It's always been a bit, it was almost to the point where it almost took me out of it, but then I just sort of used the comic book logic or the story plotline logic for myself. It's just like, well, this is just how they look, this is them, deal with it, blah blah blah. So after initially not being so sure about all that makeup that's making the, you know, these actors barely being able to move these parts of their face, I got over it pretty quick, and I was like, this is the warrior race, this is what they look like, this is just a part of their genetics, or like just how they look. This is not a makeup flaw, this is not a design flaw, this is just how they look, you know. But maybe that didn't bother you, or if you've already seen the first couple of episodes, but yeah, that was my main nitpick with the Klingons and the design. But apart from that, I'm sure, well, the thing is, I'm sure we're going to experience this with many other aliens. For example, that guy who was on the bridge, I can't remember his name right now, but the ones who was part of that race, he was basically, you know, he was sort of like the hunted on his planet, so he has a really good sense of picking up fear and, you know, impending doom. So like he suffered a little bit of the same thing. So I think that's just a thing with aliens on TV shows. If you want to make them drastically different but yet still kind of humanoid, then maybe there's just quite a few restrictions you have in terms of such complicated alien design in makeup and design. Now, my next nitpick is, I'm not really sure how I felt about Michelle Yeoh's, I'm not sure if I'm saying her name correctly, but the captain of the first couple of episodes. I wasn't so sure how I felt about her, but at the end of the day, by the end of the first couple of episodes, I kind of used to her, and then something happened to that character which sort of takes her away from the show, but I'm not going to spoil what happens. So she's not going to be the captain for the whole series, and I'm actually really looking forward to the new captain, because he just seems like a lot more of like a Starfleet commander, and just like, you know, let's do this. Whilst Captain Georgiou's character was just a bit, I don't know, I was just like, if she's going to be the captain for the whole series, I don't know how interesting these episodes are going to be in terms of going out and discovering new worlds and stuff. It's like, don't get me wrong, she wouldn't have ruined it for me, but I was just wanting more of like an interesting character. I just didn't feel like she had so much oomph or depth to her. But that's not to say that she wasn't, and her parts, especially in the second episode, were freaking epic. But to conclude my first thoughts, I'm very excited for this show. It's the first 2 episodes, and from what I'm reading everywhere else as well, is like a unexpectedly really good start or something like that, the headlines were. So I feel the exact same. At first there was a few things I was like about, but it was very good, and at the end of the day, I've seen shows that I've watched to the end, you know, which are nothing compared to this. So this Star Trek Discovery show is going to be a hit, I'm sure, and especially from the trailer, which showed a lot of the next episode, but a bit of the rest of the series. It's going to be epic, and I could see this going on for quite a few seasons. This is it, guys. Like, Star Trek is back. This is the new modern way of getting into Star Trek. So if you haven't ever been a Trek fan before, now is your chance. Jump on this new series, which is actually set 10 years before Captain Kirk in the famous USS Enterprise, which would have been the show your parents watched or something like that, and you weren't really sure about watching, so maybe it's a bit too hard. Well, now is your time. Watch it with your parents. Do whatever. Like, this is, if you're a sci-fi fan, if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're anything sci-fi, you will enjoy this. You might have a few problems with it, but trust me, stay on for the ride and just see what you make of, the first couple of episodes. There's a lot to look forward to. So much. This is the thing. So much happened in those first 2 episodes that set up the rest of the season, or potentially beyond the rest of the first season, that it's going to be so interesting to have that main plot like these TV shows have, but then you have the subplot episodes, and then sometimes in the filler episodes you have a bit of a reference to the main plot, and then the next episode it's more of a main plot whole episode. Do you know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to riding this show out. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, whether you're excited to see it, whether you have seen it, if you loved it or if you hated it. Let me know either way, guys, as I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. But apart from that, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it, as it really does show support for the channel. Videos like this where, obviously I haven't done a single video on Star Trek before, aren't going to get barely any views at all. So if you made it this far in a video, type in the comments below a he, live long and prosper, because that way I know you got this far in the video, and it feels good when one of you or some of you might come out in the comment section and just display how you got this far in the video. You can follow me on social media by clicking on the links popping up on the screen around here or in the description below. Just click on one of them to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter. It doesn't matter. But apart from that, everybody, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and live long and prosper.